Hey guys, so I know this is kind of a crappy angle. I have my phone propped up here, but I'm sitting on my bed because I'm just trying to get the motivation to like get some things accomplished. I want to talk to you guys. I want to film. I want to do lots of different things. I want to put some more stuff in my Etsy shop. But you guys, okay, so I know that like I called it falling off the Vlogmas train. I told you guys in my plan with me, like my long to-do list of things that we have to get done like before Christmas, and it was so long. Like we bit off a whole bunch. We did get it all accomplished and it turned out really well, so I'll try to remember to insert some pictures of their room below in this video. Yeah. You guys, my brain is scrambled. If I start saying crazy things, then I'm sorry, but you'll see why in a second. So anyway, a few days before Christmas, when time is running out, what happens first? I'm trying to remember, like, what happens first. I had Jaren, so I had all the boys. It was, like, rainy and gross, really bad weather. So I had all the boys, so, like, little last-minute things we had to get done for them, like, for their shopping and things, I couldn't do because I had all of them with me, so that's not going to work. So I had to wait till Joshua was off of work, and even then we had all of the boys, so it was just really hard to get all of that done. So we kind of had to like tag team it, and he would come home and I would leave and go do some things and grab some stuff, or either he would go do it before work and then he would just come home afterwards. So we did a little bit of that, and we were getting stuff done slowly but surely. And then he started having tooth problems. So if you guys have been following me for a really long time, and I mean a really long time, like from the beginning, because this is even before I started YouTube, he has had issues with his wisdom teeth, and his wisdom teeth are growing in sideways and wonky and like really weird. They're breaking apart other teeth. Like, it's ridiculous. It is ridiculous that he has not had them, number one, cut out way before they started coming in, and number two, pulled or cut out now. But he keeps scheduling the surgeries and then canceling it. And he uses the excuse that it's a big chunk of money that he doesn't want to spend, but that is not the reason. That is not the reason why. The reason why, I think, is because he just doesn't want to have surgery and then have to stay out of work for a couple of days to recuperate. I don't know, you guys. It's really not even that big of a deal, but I don't know. Look at these. Look at these wings we have going on. But anyways, so he started having tooth issues. So it gets to the point when his teeth flare up, and it was because he had a really bad sinus infection. So all of that puts pressure on the nerves in his mouth, and it makes him have a toothache. And when his wisdom teeth start bothering him, it's like ridiculous pain. It's absolutely horrible. And he can't hardly stand it. Like, he can't sleep, he can't focus, he can't do anything. Like, it's ow, 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 it hurts so bad. Like, he's been really struggling with it. And for whatever reason, I guess the pressure when he lays down or whatever, it bothers him really badly at night. Okay, so he would come home and his teeth would be bothering him. So he went days without, like, finishing the projects that he had started with, like, the toy box and building the beds and, like, getting all of this stuff cleaned up and done, like he wanted to do in the garage and, like, all this different stuff. Well, my family was coming over for Christmas Eve, and we were redoing the boys' room for Christmas. Like, all of these things were happening all at once. I was doing a lot to Alaric's nursery because my dad is almost finished with his crib, and he's about to deliver it here, so I want his nursery finished except for the crib, so that when we put the crib in there, it's a done deal. I have this kid in like 3.5 weeks, and so, you know, it's crunch time. Like, it's all happening at once, and that's okay. It's just a lot, and it's a lot to deal with, and a lot of pressure, and I have you guys propped up, and my arm is getting tired, so. But anyways, so all of that was going on, and then his mouth was just giving him such problems. Well, then Killian started, like, not sleeping at all. Like, Jaren was here, he would not sleep. Like, he would not go to sleep. One time I did not get Killian laid down to sleep and settled until 2:30 in the morning, 1:30 in the morning, 12 o'clock at night. Like, he's just been just giving us fits with it. And we've tried a nap. We've tried a nap early. We've tried no nap at all, keeping him awake. We've tried like extra snacks before bedtime, like really filling things to make his tummy full so he'll go to sleep. I've tried like lavender baths. I have tried melatonin. I have even tried a prescription medicine that his pediatrician gave me to try to see if it would just help get him in a routine. It keeps him awake. Like, I have tried everything, and it's just, I don't know what to say. It's just, he doesn't sleep. So he's been giving me a lot of problems sleeping, and I have had a lot of hip pain and back pain and leg pain with this baby. I have it. I didn't have it that much with Tristan because he was my first, but with Killian I had it, and with this one it's been like extremely excruciating. He said, I'm coming.
That was nice fun.
Anyway, so watching him play is so much fun. So, then while Jaren was here, we had a few issues pop up. And this is a really, really sensitive subject that I don't like to talk about, because I get a lot of judgment, and I'm going to move you, so I hope it's not too bad. I get a lot of judgment and catch a lot of flack for it. Now, you guys know, like, I'm real on my channel. Hopefully you know that what you see is what you get. I'm as real as they come. I'm not going to lie to you. I'm not going to sugarcoat things, but I don't share a whole lot about issues that we have, with Jaren, because it's not just me. It's not just our household that's affected. It's someone else. And some of that's just none of my business. And so I try to be really careful and edit things out, so you guys only get part of the story. So when I do mention some things, I know that it can be taken the wrong way, and I feel like it can be taken harshly, and you guys don't understand where I'm coming from. And I'm not just going to make this like a complain fest or let me tell you all the drama or any of that, because I don't want that negativity on my channel. But we do have a lot of issues. There's a lot of behavioral issues, a lot of disciplinary issues, and just a lot of behavioral issues. And it's very, 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 very difficult. We've had a lot of issues of bullying when it comes to him and Tristan, a lot of deep-seated, like, bitter jealousy issues that we're really trying to work past and figure out. But it's very difficult when you're dealing with those kinds of issues in a child, because some children just have more issues than, this is driving me so crazy. Some kids just have more issues than others, and you have to handle it in different ways. Every child is different. But when you're not the only parent and you're not the one that's with them the majority of the time, it can get really complicated really fast, and it can be super difficult to deal with. And that's what we have to deal with. This weekend, it wasn't just the weekend. We had him from Wednesday until Monday night. He's playing with Incredibles figures. It escalated to a point where it was just like a really serious point, to where serious things were happening that not only just raised red flags, but it was bad. It was a big deal. Shh. Hey, you gotta be quiet. So we were trying to deal with that and not let it ruin Christmas for any of the three of them. It was very difficult. It was a really hard time for me because I was by myself. It was just difficult. And maybe one day I can talk about it a little bit more and elaborate. But just, you guys know, like, if you think about us, please keep us in your thoughts and prayers when it comes to that situation. It's a very difficult situation right now, and we're going through a lot when it comes to that. We are going through a lot, and a lot of it is new territory. We don't really know what to do or how to handle it, because again, we're not the only people who make these decisions. There's a whole other household that makes decisions, and we're not involved in those decisions. Like, we can't control that. And so it's very, very hard, but there's just really serious things going on that make it very complicated sometimes. And we just have to try to handle it the best way we can in love and do the best we can. You know what I mean? We just have to figure it out. And so all of that was going on in the midst of all of that was going on. And it was just so much. And then I was getting no sleep. And on top of that, it was Killian, Alaric keeping me awake, and then Joshua with his mouth was waking up in the middle of the night, and I couldn't go back to sleep. Like, if he's not settled and I know something's wrong with him and he's up and like he can't sleep and blah blah blah, I'm awake. I'm not going to be able to sleep. And so that was the case. So I'm getting no sleep and all of this stuff to do. So time is ticking and his mouth is giving him problems, so he's not wanting to do anything when he gets home. And so it's just like I'm flipping out, I'm stressing out, and I'm trying to keep up with videos because I really enjoyed Vlogmas, and I just couldn't keep up because there was so much going on, and all of these things were happening during the day, so it was really hard for me to film. Without saying too much, I couldn't leave them by themselves. Like, I had to be watching them at all times. Just without saying too much about it, that is what had to happen. So I couldn't just leave and go film. I had to kind of be watching all the time. So that was really difficult. Because when they're playing and they're in this room and that room, like, it's really hard to, but I had to watch them at all times. It was that bad. A lot of things just happened, a lot of things, and it was just really not good. So, I was still trying to do like fun things with them and like really make their Christmas special for all of them, not just the two, but the three. So, you know, hopefully you guys understand that you don't need to be negative. Like, everything is not always what it seems, and you only get little snippets of people's life on YouTube. So no, for all three of them, I tried to make their Christmas super special and his time here really special for him. And so we made Christmas cards and did some Christmas crafts, and we made a gingerbread house and did all of this kind of stuff. But I couldn't film any of it because there was so much going on. So I kind of fell behind in everything. And then on Christmas Eve night, okay, so it's down to the wire. Christmas Eve day, Joshua was finishing the toy box. He was building the beds. He was doing all this stuff in the garage all day long. I had all of them in here. I know, don't get on to me. I did shampoo the carpets by myself. It is a lot lighter than a rug doctor. Our neighbor let us use his shampooer, so it was a lot easier to maneuver around, and I did take tons of sitting breaks in between each room. I did it over 2 days. So that I could rest and sit down, but it was still a lot on me. Like, honestly, I know that some of you checked on me and I told you I wasn't going to do that. I was going to make Joshua do it, but there was just no time, and I didn't have any business doing it, but I did it anyways because we didn't have any time and it needed to be done. So I shampooed the carpets and I got everything cleaned, and I was trying to take rest as much as I could. I had to like lie down a lot because I was just, my hips were just hurting. My hips and legs were giving me so much issues that I just had to rest every so often, drink a lot of fluids, calm down for a little while, and then try to get back up and do a little bit more at a time. So I was going slower than I like, but I was listening to my body. I was being a good girl. Maybe not as good as I should have been, but I was trying. And so Christmas Eve night, Joshua had a horrible toothache, and it was to the point where he couldn't even function. Like, he was flipping out, and all this stuff needed to be done, okay? Because the pictures we didn't get to hang ahead of time like we were going to, so we were just using like a really soft, quiet drill bit, and it was really quiet. They couldn't hear it. We were trying to get them settled in our room, but when my parents came over for Christmas Eve night dinner, we did presents and everything with them. They left pretty early in the evening, but Killian was exhausted. We had been cleaning all day. We had been doing all this stuff. They had been running around playing like crazy people, and he was just so tired. And so at like 7:30, he fell asleep on my dad, and my dad just put him in our room where we were making them sleep for that night. Well, at like 9:30, he woke up, and he didn't go to sleep. He would not go to sleep. He wanted a snack because he kind of fell asleep during dinner and didn't eat a whole lot of his dinner. He wanted a snack. He wanted some drink. He wanted to play. He wanted this. He wanted that. He wanted me and his dad's attention and all this stuff, and Josh was just over here in pain. So we had went into their room for like 30 minutes and tried to get it started, and then he woke up and would not go back to sleep. It was hours. It was hours that it took. So we were like, okay, well, we're just going to tag team it. So Joshua went in there and hung all of the pictures. Like, I told him where I wanted them to go. We made a plan on a piece of paper and drew it out. And then he went in there and hung them all. Okay, fantastic. It's done. That part is done. The pictures were hung on the walls. So it was like, okay, there's that. But I had to set up everything else. Like the bedding on their beds had to be placed on there, and their presents had to be set up. And there was a bunch of stuff from where we moved everything out, but their clothes were everywhere, and all this stuff was everywhere from where we moved out their furniture and have to replace it with the new furniture and organize everything. All of that stuff had to be done. And so Joshua wasn't going to do all of that. You know what I mean? So he comes in here after he hangs the pictures, and we were going to tag team it out, and I was going to go in there while he stayed with Killian and try to get him to go to sleep. Killian wasn't having him. He didn't want him. He didn't want him to put him to sleep. He didn't want me to go anywhere. He was freaking out that I was trying to leave the room. It was ridiculous. He was being a stage 5 clinger for mommy, and I was just like, oh, child, this is just not the time, sweetie. Like, this is not the time. And so I had to stay in here. So I stayed in here, and Joshua passed out, okay? Joshua passed out. So at like 10 o'clock, he's passed out. I'm awake, trying to get Killian to go to sleep so I can even do this, okay? Joshua finally passed out because he had taken some medicine for his mouth. It just made him really tired, and he hadn't slept very well because of his mouth, and he passed out. He passed out. I was about to pass out, but I knew I couldn't because there's still all this stuff to be done. So I finally get Killian to sleep at 1:30 in the morning, and then I go start the room, and it takes me like 2.5 hours. Well, when I come back and try to lay down to go to sleep, my hips, my legs are doing that stupid thing. I have restless leg syndrome, like really bad when I'm pregnant. I have it when I'm not pregnant, but when I'm pregnant, I have it bad. It is bad. It is awful. And so that was bothering me really badly. And I got up and took a bath. And then when I got up and took a bath, he woke up with his mouth hurting. And it was like 4 o'clock in the morning. At this point, I haven't slept because I've been laying in bed, like tossing and turning, trying to go to sleep. And I completely can't because I'm having this restless leg syndrome issue. And I can't fall asleep, and it's horrible, and I'm hurting, and I'm just like, ugh, this is crappy. And now I'm taking a bath, and it's 4 o'clock, and I haven't even been to sleep. And so Joshua wakes up with his mouth. And so, of course, I'm not going to sleep then because I'm worried about him, and I feel so bad for him, like his mouth is hurting him, and I'm kicking myself, and I'm kicking him. I want to beat him up for not getting this taken care of for this long. Like, go get the surgery, and you won't even have these problems ever again. And so all of these things are running through my head. It's 4 o'clock in the morning. And so at like 5:45, he can lay back down and go back to sleep. So he does. Killian wakes up and gets in the bed with us, which he's right here on their mattresses in our room. And he wants to sleep in here, so he does. And Joshua ends up, like, sleeping on his mattress on the floor because he's, like, tired. And we end up crashing for about 2 hours. So I got 2 hours of sleep on Christmas Eve night. And then we get up and open presents and do all of that. And then we go to my mom's house. It was a really busy day. So we get home last night, and Joshua passes out at 8:30 at night, okay? Which sounds fabulous because I'm exhausted too. I haven't slept. I slept 2 hours the night before. And because of Killian and my hips and everything, I had slept like 3 hours the night before that. And so, and I hope I'm not rambling. I'm just rambling on and on for 20 minutes talking to you guys. So I hope that you don't mind. But this is a long story. I just want to let you know what's been going on because I really enjoy talking to you guys. But anyways, at like 8:30, he passes out. And so I go in there with the boys, and we're playing with their Christmas toys. And I'm like, I read them a bedtime story, and I get them settled down for the night. I'm trying to get them to settle down and go to sleep. And Tristan just starts talking about his tummy hurting. His tummy hurts. His tummy hurts. His tummy hurts. Well, he has problems going to the bathroom sometimes, so I think that maybe that's the case. So I'm like, okay, well, do you have to go potty? And he's like, no. And then I'm like, well, does your tummy hurt like pain? Because I'm thinking, do you have gas? Like, what's going on? And so he says it is, but he doesn't really know. Like, he's 6 and he doesn't really know the differences between tummy issues. And so he's not explaining it very well. So I'm like, okay. So I rub his tummy and it's not getting any better. And I'm like, okay, well, lay down and try to go to sleep. And I read him a bedtime story. I put them to bed. Well, he comes in my room and tries to throw up. Like, he thinks he has to go throw up. So he's standing over the toilet. And I go in there, rub his tummy and rub his back and try to sit with him for a minute, see if that's what's going on. No, he doesn't. So he doesn't do anything. So then I'm like, okay, well, he comes in here like 3 times trying to throw up and he can't. And so I'm like, okay, I heard a noise. And so I'm like, okay. So I put him back to bed, and I give him a trash can with like one of those little mini trash cans with like a Walmart sack inside of it. And I'm like, here you go. You can throw up in this if you have to throw up, so you don't have to run to the bathroom, like blah, 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 blah. That way we won't have accidents or your brand new bed, like your brand new bedding and all of that. And, so anyways, then Killian keeps running in here, running back and forth, like not wanting to go to sleep. It's a nightmare. And then he runs in here screaming and crying and says, Tristan needs you, Tristan needs you. Well, he did actually end up throwing up. So I'm like, great. Like, this is just what we need. So he throws up, and then Killian comes in here. It takes me until 1:30 to get Killian settled and gone to sleep. Like, I'm not joking. Joshua's been asleep beside me since 8:30. And it's 1:30, and I'm just now getting Killian to go to sleep. Well, I really don't want to put Killian back in his bed because I don't want him to be in there if Tristan has, like, a virus. I mean, I know he's probably already been exposed at this point, but limited exposure is best. So I'm like, okay. So I let him sleep in our bed, and I'm like, well, I'm going to sleep on the couch so that I can better hear Tristan if he needs me. So I'll sleep on the couch. Well, the couch is not big enough for this belly. It just isn't. It's not comfortable. It's not big enough for the belly. It's awful. It's a sectional that is it's comfortable to sit on, but it's not comfortable to sleep on at all. In the least, no. Not even when you're not pregnant. And I am very pregnant. And so it was awful, brutal. Didn't sleep at all. I kept waking up, like getting up every 30 minutes to an hour to check on him because I was so worried about him. Is he going to throw up again? Lord, please don't let him throw up again. I know that's miserable, blah, blah, blah. Well, he slept through the night. I just kept checking on him every 2 seconds. And at 6 o'clock, he woke up, and I was like, well, maybe something just didn't settle on his tummy. Like all that Christmas food, maybe it just didn't settle. Well, he wakes up at 6 and still tells me he feels like he's going to be sick. And so I'm like, crap, because I was really hoping he would just sleep it off. But he doesn't. He doesn't get sick again. Well, now it's like, I think it's like 11:30 right now. He has gotten sick that one time last night as far as throwing up. And then he has used the bathroom on himself. So, I don't know. I feel like it might be a virus. I've been giving him fluids, and he's been sipping on those. So far, he's kept those down, but he hasn't ate anything. And I'm so scared to let him eat anything because I'm scared it's going to make him really sick. So I'm going to let him nibble on some soda crackers in a little while and see if he can keep those down, like just a couple of them. See if he can keep those down. He's really sad because it's the day after Christmas, and he got all of these presents, and he can't play with them. I feel terrible for him. He's bored out of his mind. He does not like to lay in bed. It is just miserable for him. And he has to because he's sick. And so, yeah, it's just not a fun day. I am exhausted. I have slept. I probably slept about an hour and a half last night, 2 hours the night before, and 3 hours the night before that. And I'm so stinking tired right now. Like, I'm so tired. I don't know if you can even tell, but I'm so exhausted. Like, I can barely keep my eyes open. I am so tired. Yeah, it just kind of is what it is. I've pulled a bunch of toys out for Killian to play with. He's been playing in the living room. I've shut Tristan off and tried to kind of quarantine him. I've been checking on him. He's probably wondering where I am because I've been checking on him every few minutes, but there's that. And then, yeah, so it's rough. It's rough. It's a rough day today. It's been a rough few days. Just, it's fine. I'm not trying to get you guys to be like, oh, I'm so sorry you're going through it. No, I just want to let you guys know what's going on with me and where I've been, and just kind of give you guys an update. We'll get through it. It's just one of those mom times where it's like, holy cow, where you're just dead to the world and you're so tired. Hopefully Joshua's mouth will get better, or he'll wise up and go to the dentist and actually follow through and get it taken care of this time. Hopefully nobody else gets sick. Lord, in the name of Jesus, nobody else gets sick. Hopefully Killian or Tristan will feel better in a little while. I will keep you guys updated on how that goes. And hopefully he can sleep. So, anyways, I'm going to let you guys go because I've been rambling forever. I'm going to post this. I will let you guys know an update on how he's doing and what happened and all of that. But I'm going to let you guys go. And thank you guys so much for watching. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye.